Okay, we're going.
Yo, what's up, man? What's up out there, YouTube world? It's your boy Foster Lee, A.K.A. King Zulu Lee. You already know who it be. For all y'all that's new to the channel, subscribe, like, and share this with somebody. This video gonna be a lot different than the other ones. This is just a personal vlog, I would say. I'm out here with one of my dear old friends, and we're just chopping it up, man. We're gonna make this a weekly occurrence and just have a conversation and shoot the shit, man, and shoot the win, I guess. So stay tuned, enjoy. Yeah. So we were, Chicago, man. It was crazy. It's literally. It's like a dog eat dog world, especially growing up, because you got to find your place. You got to find out where you fit in. And luckily, I was the athlete and the funny guy. So, you know, I had two different sets of friends. I can be with the goofy people, and I can be with the serious athletes who are training hard. And then a lot of my friends who didn't do either were, you know, gang members, or like hardened dudes who didn't play around, who like dress nice, don't want to sweat, don't want to do anything other than grind and hustle and get that money. And so I had a nice little assortment of options to choose from, and I definitely entertained them all 100%.
You were living in the projects then, or a private house?
No, this is my mom's house. I didn't.
You were in your house?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What kind of neighborhood?
It was majority black back then. Now it's not. It was one of those, like, it was slowly being gentrified. You can watch it happen. It's like you cross the train tracks and go that way, it's really nice housing. You cross the train tracks and you go the other way, it's like a lot of apartments and like just a total different culture. Exactly. Like, and there's literally the train tracks is divide line, and I couldn't even believe it going to the other places. Once I visited all the other places in the world and seeing all these other places, I realized how segregated Chicago really is. Like, literally by streets, by lines. It's like you cross that line, you're in a whole different world. And it's funny, but it was normal back then. But to me now, it's not as normal.
It's the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. The country is segregated. First, it's segregated economically. And then, of course, the poorer are clustered. Like it or not, you know, there are so many people of color are poor.
Yeah.
On the ass end.
Yeah. I think that's miseducation too, man. It's like, it's the reason that we are, because we know no better, and
it's a fuck up all around.
Yeah.
That, you know, the people who have don't want those who don't have to have.
That's a scarcity mentality. They don't think it's enough for everybody.
One of the ways you keep that in place is by making sure that those who don't have.
Fact.
They don't have proper medical care.
Yeah.
They don't have proper education.
Yeah.
And businesses and so forth. So that's the way it was. And that's the way it is. It really hasn't changed. You know, so
it needs to change. Somebody out there needs to step up. I don't know if it's one person or it's going to be a collective. It's got to be probably a collective. It can't be just one person that makes that change. But it's also got to be the fact that people stop accepting it. Because right now, most people are just like, it's been that way for, let's say, ever. So let's just keep it that way. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's going to take revolution.
It always does, right?
And it's not an evolutionary process. And God, you know, think of what happened in the 60s. And
I don't remember what happened in the 60s.
Of course you
I'm talking shit. I've seen it.
But
I read about it.
You had, you know, Dr. King and all the stuff going on, and incredible brutality. And you think, okay, it's going to change. Has not.
It's gotten a little bit better to some extent, as far as the blatancy of it, right? Some people in some places think twice. You know what I mean?
it's more subtle.
More subtle.
It
yeah.
doesn't mean it's any less prominent.
100%, right. And that's a problem.
You know, you look at, you don't have to look any further than Black Lives Matter. And so, so far, has anything happened? No, you know what I mean?
No, yeah, you're right.
Any legislation,
You're right.
any change in education, so far, you know, not at all. And I'm not sure what it is going to take, especially when we're heading into probably the most divisive time in this country's certainly recent history.
100%.
So, anyhow, you do the talking.
No, you're right. You're right.
It's your face, man, not mine.
Hey, man, it could be your face. We could do a cameo and show the world who does put a face to this voice. He sounds like a radio host or something, huh? He has his own show, Mine and the Motorcycle. You guys should go check that out. It's a podcast. He has a blog as well too. Really, really insightful, really, really educational, and all facts, all truth, man. And he puts a little spin of his own little spices to it. So go check that out. Subscribe to his channel and subscribe to his podcast. And leave a like and share it. Give him 5 stars. And so yeah, it's one of those things where the divisiveness of the country is because everybody now is forced to pick sides of the extreme. It's like you're either a Proud Boy or you're fucking anarchist or whatever. I don't even know what to even call. I don't even know what to call these sides. I know that I don't agree with either tactic. I don't agree with either side. I'm literally walking on the fence in between, watching this shit. Like, what the hell is this really about? I have no ties to any party. I have no ties to any cabinets. I got no ties to any sides. All I'm about now is education of the masses, educating my family, taking care of my family, creating sustainability for myself and my family, and bringing as many people as long as I can. And my music. Oh, actually, I've recorded a couple songs.
You
this
did
week.
Really?
Yeah. So, we got some songs coming soon.
Oh, good. I'm gonna have to listen.
Yeah, I'll get you a copy.
All right.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Larry's been on me about recording music. I took about a 2-month break. My son was born. I was going real hard. Then my son was born, and I took about a 2-month break on music. And Larry's been up my ass the whole time. Do your music. And I finally got back to doing my music. So appreciate you for that, Larry. Sparking that fire under my ass. So what's new? How you doing? How you feeling?
I'm fine. This is an interesting week for the country. That would be America.
America.
The election in Georgia.
He wants to recount the votes.
Well, I mean, first of all, we'll know apparently tomorrow, Wednesday morning, at some point, the results of the senatorial runoffs will be made public.
And what does that do? What kind of differential does that make?
It's huge, man. First of all, it's going to be 2 or 2. So it's going to be 2 Democrats will win or the 2 Republicans will win. They're not split. And a lot of people probably, if the Democrats win, that would mean that the Senate is split 50-50.
Okay.
And in that case, the vice president is the tiebreaker, and that would be Kamala Harris, which means Democratic legislation, Democratic programs could get through the Democratic House and the Democratic Senate.
How's it?
Should both Republicans, either one, in other words, both Democrats have to win for it to be 50-50.
Okay, 50-50, yeah.
So without both of them winning, then we have what we've had for quite a while now is a Republican-controlled Senate, which means absolutely nothing will transpire.
Okay.
In terms of legislations. So it's a really big deal. Then the very next it's tomorrow. Wednesday?
It's tomorrow.
The vote in the House and Senate, where they're going to certify the Electoral College vote, and that's where over 100 Republicans are going to protest the vote,
Okay.
and it will fail. And what you basically have, the 50 states have voted. The 50 individual states have certified the validity of their election. So you have all 50 states saying, this is how we voted, that's the deal, done. They didn't even have to go to a notary at a bank.
Wow.
Done deal. So there's really nothing to discuss.
Okay.
But the these Republicans are going to basically say it was fraudulent, and they're going to try and do some kind of stunting. It will not work.
Why is it such a shit show and just theatrics when it comes to politics? Why is it so like why can't we just get shit done? Why is it got to be that hard, man?
We have a broken system.
I think we got a broken system in all systems. If you ask me, financial, educational, political.
Well, it's broken because they're all controlled by money.
Oh, okay. That's a good segue to get off of this subject and go on to the new subject of what I'm super passionate about right now is cryptocurrency. Are you familiar with it at all, or have you looked into it? Because the top cryptocurrency that's traded right now is Bitcoin, and it just hit $35,000 a coin, the highest it's ever been ever. And that is meaning that the US dollar is slowly dwindling down. And if it comes to a point where the dollar is worth nothing and you don't have Bitcoin, you better have a bunch of gold or other types of commerce and things to trade if you don't. Because if you got a bunch of money in your account, say $100,000, $200,000, and all of a sudden the worth of the dollar crashes, that's essentially dimes and nickels in your account.
Can I go to McDonald's and buy a Big Mac with a Bitcoin?
Some places you can. Some places you can. You can buy. Some places let you buy houses, planes, cars.
With the proliferation of technology, you have like invisible worlds. And dealing what we have certainly in this country politically, we have like invisible truths.
Right.
Like the election is a fraud.
Right.
And it's the truth. No, man, right. It's invisible. The currency thing, I'm not real clear on. I know that it's real. It's been a viable economy for. I'm not sure how many years.
2009, so
10
11 years.
So it's for real.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people making
a lot of money
on it.
Yeah.
What concerns me, I suppose, with things like that is almost like the pyramids, in that the money gets made, and it gets made up front, and it gets made really big.
Yeah, really
and
big.
By the time it starts to get around and it gets to the Tom, Dick, and Harry stage, I'm not sure.
Okay.
But there's certainly, I think there's reason to be skeptical when it really starts to get diluted. And it becomes, wow, man.
Okay.
The smart people are in and out.
All right.
So so I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
It's good. The reason I asked you that because it's good of like for everybody who doesn't know who's watching this, Larry is a couple years older than me, and so like we have different perspectives, and he's originally from New York. He's a Jewish fellow. And I think he's in his 60s.
No, so I'm more than twice your age.
He's more than twice my age. So our perspectives are different, but we agree on a lot of things, and it's crazy. And that's why I wanted to bring him onto this and let you guys get a little snippet of the vast amounts of conversation and information exchange that we have, because it's crazy. I can't really talk with a lot of people about some of the thought processes that I come up with, because they're too young and have no interest in this thing, or they're too stuck in their ways and don't care to talk to a younger guy about anything, anything having to do with reality of the world, as I see it, whether it be politics, education, finances, whatever the case may be, music. Like who? Like name a 70-year-old person that wants to talk about making this music or listening to one of my songs. There's not that many out there.
It's you're as young as you think.
Yes. Yes.
Not as young as you think you are, because I don't think I'm any younger than my age. But it's I guess maintaining some mental flexibility and emotional flexibility while you gradually lose that physically.
Right.
And not to confuse the two.
There you go.
Very often gets confused. So
I get that. No, I respect that, and I appreciate you. I really do. I appreciate these conversations. They're gonna happen for a long time coming.
I thought about it. I keep telling you, I keep forgetting the damn name of the show. Jesus and Miro.
Oh yeah. Yes, that show.
It's
Two New York guys.
It's funny for me. Well, are they from New York?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
But certainly we would not.
Or Jersey.
We're not even close. I mean, in the sense that they're two contemporary. I don't know. They both. Is one Hispanic, or they both black?
I think one's black. I think one's half black, half Hispanic. If I'm wrong, let me know if you can leave a comment.
Jesus and Miro. By the way, what they do, for those of you who have, they're incredibly successful. They have incredible chemistry.
Yeah.
They sit on these two chairs.
Yeah.
And they basically look at videos, right?
Yeah.
Of things that happen. That these impromptu videos.
Yeah. They do reviews and
people doing really stupid things, and they just trip.
Yeah.
On it.
And they're quick, like
they're
you.
Very good. They entertain each other.
Yeah.
It's I thought, that would be really cool. Me and you sitting on the couch, you'd be like, whoa, boy.
All right.
Anyway.
I'm down. Content is king nowadays. It's one of those things where the more content you have or you create, the more pieces of yourself you can leave behind, right? Because all of us are going to perish. Everybody is made of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen. We're going to go right back, dust to dust, ash to ashes, dust to dust. We're all going to go. And so the more content that we can get uploaded to this crazy thing called the World Wide Web, we can reach more people, touch more people, and teach more people at the same time. Oh, can you see that? Can you see my shirt?
Send $25 and a Kellogg box top to 1-800-FOSTER.
Yeah, I have that little swipe up and pay me now button coming soon, but we're still working on that content in the background. So I'll let me for that. But yeah, man. So all right, what's COVID, man? That's how's COVID been treating you as far as because he's in the tourist entertainment business. I won't give away what he does, but he does a lot, and with the tourism industry. And so, how is COVID affecting you, considering we're on an island and we depend on importing people?
Yeah,
importation.
It's always, whenever in agriculture, something called monocropping is very dangerous.
It is.
Because you rely on, obviously, the one crop.
Corn.
And if you got a bug that decides to eat all your asparagus, you're screwed. And in the case of Kauai and the islands in general on Hawaii, they're totally tourist dependent. It's one economy. And it makes you extremely vulnerable. And COVID is a perfect example. Of how vulnerable the islands are, economically, and what Kauai needs to do. And I don't really much care about the other islands, frankly. What Kauai needs to do is to develop alternative sources of revenue. And the only thing Kauai has going for it is its location.
Yeah.
So if you think of it like business, well, it's not. I mean, it's a beautiful place, but you make money on the beauty through tourism, so that again, that ain't it.
Yeah.
So it's geography is its value.
I got an idea that can bring that. If you're not down, I don't mean to cut you off.
Okay.
But just like what we're doing here, when I say create content, right? You use the topography, which is the land masses and the way everything looks, and you create reality TV shows and all of the different things that Hawaii brings, whether it be coffee plantation, whether it be poi, whether it be kalo, whether it be fishing, whether it be hunting, whether it be surfing, foil boarding and kite surfing, whether it be freaking skateboarding at the skate park in Kapaa, whatever it is, using the scenery and the aesthetics of the scenery to create a bunch of different shows to sell to Netflix and Hulu and Amazon Prime, so that people can start making revenue off of Hawaii and how it looks off people who don't even live here without them coming, then it's COVID free. Whoever steals this idea, you owe me 10%.
But then the objective is, then the trick is, how can you do it and then not encourage people to come?
Yeah.
It becomes you know what I mean? So
you need Hawaii identification.
it's like I don't know what, it's like an absolutely beautiful woman saying, no, I don't want to date.
Right.
And the phone calls are going to come. I know you know what I mean. Hey, listen, I got a really successful used car lot in Minneapolis.
It's funny you say that, because it was the book 48 Laws of Power. They talk about this queen. I don't know if her name was Queen Lissa or Liz, or I might be butchered it, but she was a really, really gorgeous queen whose husband died, or was the king, died young, and she refused to remarry and refused to have any kids. And she got courted left and right, and people were hitting her up like, oh, and she would entertain people for certain reasons, like if she needed help with wars, needed help with extra armies, but she would not lay in bed with them, and she would not remarry, and she ended up dying because of it. Well, she lived her whole life, and then she died, and then somebody else took over and things of that nature. But she understood that the minute that she gave away her power as being the head of the state of wherever country she was in charge of to a son or to a king, that her days were numbered. And so she literally just refused to remarry and refused to date, but she would entertain the idea, entertain people. And so that's interesting that you said that. I literally just finished reading that book again.
But anyway, I don't know. I thought it's really, to take advantage of our geography. Obviously, anything that's like ocean-based. We have we're so close. We're because of our location, close to Asia.
Yeah.
I really don't. I don't know. But certainly COVID, amongst other things, has really proven the vulnerability of all these islands, because they, it's strictly based on tourism, and that it's just not a good idea. It's a wonderful way to destroy beauty.
Yeah, 100%.
So,
or recapture it, depending on how you look at it. I'm always like half cup. I mean, cup half full, cup half empty. You know me, but because the oceans are repopulating with fish, the reefs are growing back. Grasses and things are coming back in certain places where there was a lot more foot traffic. It's a double-edged. I mean, not a double-edged sword. It's to blend some, lose some as well.
Yeah, I'm not terribly optimistic. Only because if you want to project the future, you look at your past.
Yeah.
And the past behavior of our species has not been. We don't get a gold star.
That's true.
How we've treated each other, how we've treated
the planet. Yeah.
And why would that change when it's been exactly this way for thousands of years?
So maybe it's just planetary karma. Maybe she's pissed that we've been pieces of shit for millennia, and they're like, hey man, get your shit together. Maybe this virus was given to us to try to check us.
Well, COVID is our own doing.
I know we created it in a lab. Yeah.
There's no, well, whether it's a lab, it doesn't matter, but it's our own doing. The climate crisis, which is completely underplayed in the media, is very, very serious. It does not get the attention it deserves.
That's true.
It's really bad. It's not bad. It's really bad.
But me being playing devil's advocate again, do you think COVID helped slow down the carbon emissions and help slow down a little bit of the detriment that we're doing to
it reduced emissions by something like 4 or 5% from I think like the prior year.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just a blip.
It's a blip.
And but one of the many things about it, we have incredibly short memories. And when COVID passes, and it will, it'll be business as usual. And it's a real challenge, and much less so for me than people your age and your child Musa, my grandson who's 12.
Yeah,
I don't know, man.
But that's why I preach passive income and creating multiple streams of income, because when things like this happen and you do have all your eggs in that one basket, you lose a lot of eggs. Lose a lot of eggs, man. And I feel sorry for the families who are dealing with this in a bad way. It's a lot of them. It's like 40 to 50 million of them who are literally facing homelessness within the next month or two. Because the 31st was the last day of protections, right?
I think, but I'm not sure if the COVID thing, which was passed, extended the evictions.
Okay. Okay.
But I think I look for spiritual income as opposed to, in a sense, financial income. In that we really have to spend a lot more time enriching ourselves as people.
Grow your mind, grow your heart.
Yeah, compassion, baby. Without compassion, you got nothing. I don't want to get off on it, but the numbers of starving children in the world is mind-blowing. There are millions and millions of children who have no food, and to me, that's criminal.
Yeah.
And lip service when being paid to things like climate or anything like that, when it's okay for that kind of suffering, not only to be allowed, but to really be, perpetrated. I'm incredibly happy with my life.
Me too.
And my journey.
Yeah, yeah. You have to be, honestly. That's the first step.
That's the only thing we have, the only goddamn thing you have any control of.
Yeah.
Is your life and how you feel about it.
Yeah. And because you created it in a sense, right? You walked the journeys of your life. You turned down the turns. You followed those roads. It's your doing, baby. It's not about what happened to you. It's about what you do after.
So again, you got small world and you got big world.
Yeah.
You can make an impact in small world.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the attention should be paid. And small world is how you treat people you meet every day.
Yeah.
And those kind of things that are within our control.
Yeah, I like that.
And that's the difference
analogy
that we can make individually. When the larger your view gets, the less power you have. And I can't deal in terms of changing the world or...
That used to be my thing. I wanted to change the world. When I first moved here, like almost 8 years ago, I was like, I'm gonna write a book and I'm gonna change the world. Book's coming soon, but it's not about changing the world. It's about changing yourself. And exactly what he says, it literally starts with you inside. You change your brain, you change your intellectual thinking, your proper intellectual thinking, your heart, your spirit, and you start touching people instead of trying to change them. And you touch them with, like you said, your story. You touch them with your attitude, the way you walk on the planet. And people see it. They act like they don't. Some people, they might act like they shun away from it, or it's too bright. They might want to cover their eyes. But inspiring people is like one of the greatest things that you can do, and you only can do that by literally living your life to the fullest potential.
Well, there's something in Buddhism called dependent co-arising.
Okay.
Essentially what it means is that if a butterfly in South Africa flaps its wings,
the wind.
Some dude walking in the streets of Brooklyn is going to feel the wind on his neck.
Okay.
And the fact of the matter is we are absolutely, all of us, interconnected from past, from present and future. Everything everybody does at any point touches everybody else.
Yeah.
And if you think along those kind of lines, it kind of breeds a sense of purpose and responsibility. And when you look at the degree of suffering that's tolerated in the world, it's our suffering. And that to me is, I don't know if it certainly ain't going to happen in my lifetime. I don't know if that will change. We have an ancient history of behaving very, very badly.
That's true.
Not as, again, individuals, there are Da Vinci's, there are Socrates, there are Miles, not distance.
Davis.
Not distance, baby. Bitches brew. Speaking of which, I came to him later in my life. I wasn't like a jazz guy, and I saw a documentary about him. Man,
Yeah,
his music.
He on point. He on point. He on point like a thorn.
Oh my God! What a brilliant player.
100%.
That's an aside, but I really got into Miles.
Chopper. Is that one like yours?
I don't know. I can't see a thing. I still can't see. And then mention
He made a U-turn. It's a Harley.
is the likelihood of my knowing the guy?
I don't know.
Who cares? Anyway, okay.
Forget about it.
Yeah, back to your show.
Yeah, but actually, I'm thinking, I don't know, this might be one of those where I use this footage and start stockpiling these conversations until we got at least 5 to 10 of them, and maybe create a whole nother show, and then bring you aboard as well, and then integrate my show with your show. We have our own tertiary show.
No, I bring you aboard.
Oh yeah, talk to him.
I'm fine.
Okay.
And I don't, you want to keep going? You want me to press the button?
Yeah, you can press the button. Appreciate y'all, man, for listening in. Thank you for staying tuned, and like I said, subscribe and holla.
Okay, and that's me. Nice to see you. All right, I'm like a Muppet.
Nice.